5 on your health this morning. The rate of children diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder in the U.S. is now at an all-time high. Here to explain is Dr. Chris Curie, a psychiatrist with the Lurie Center for Autism at Mass General Hospital for Children. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're putting a statistic up on the screen here. This report from the CDC found 1 in 36 children received an autism spectrum diagnosis in 2020 compared to 1 in 44 in 2018. That seems like a really significant jump. What do researchers have to say about the reason that number went up so much?
Yeah, the CDC has been measuring the prevalence rate of autism spectrum disorder in kids now for over a decade, and the numbers keep increasing each time they assess it. Now to 4% of boys and 1% of girls by the age of 8 years old with an autism diagnosis. Specialists in the field think that the increase in numbers is largely driven by a changing understanding of what is autism spectrum disorder. Our sense of what it is very different than it was 2 decades ago, including now kids that do not have intellectual impairment as part of their autism. So they may do as well as their peers at the academic level in school with some specific academic supports or accommodations in school. So this leads many people to think it's increased recognition of rates of autism that have in many ways always been there.
The CDC also found for the first time that the percentage of Black, Hispanic, and Asian children diagnosed with autism was higher than the percentage of white children. Is there an explanation for that?
Well, in previous assessments by the CDC, the rates were actually lower in Black and Hispanic kids. And the conclusion at that point was that assessment, surveillance, recognition of autism as a young age was not as good in these historically underrepresented minority populations, leading them to want there to be better assessment. So now this is the first time that it's caught up. And this leads the authors in this trial to suggest that that is surveillance and recognition of autism in those populations is in fact improving. And this may be a catch-up effect that we're seeing. However, they caution that we may still be missing autism spectrum disorder without intellectual impairment in kids who are African American in those populations.
Let's talk about how kids are diagnosed. Parents often watch their kids' development very, very closely. Is there a specific test or list of symptoms that you use, that you look out for?
Yeah, an assessment for symptoms of autism should include interaction with the child, a hearing of parents' concerns if there have any, and a careful assessment of their developmental history, how their development is going, if there's any delays. Pediatricians will do this in the month 18 visit, month 24 visit with screening. So those are very important visits to assess for autism and for parents to express concerns if they have them. By the age of 6 months, we're looking to see that kids are making eye contact, that they are showing a social smile in response to eye contact from loved ones and preferred caregivers, that their language is on track. They've got some first words by the age of 1 and putting perhaps some words together with multiple words by the age of 2, and some babbling that comes before that, that they're looking for things like intensely repetitive ritualized play or repetitive movements like hand flapping or toe walking that might be a suggester of autism, or a intense focus on particular interests or sensitivity to certain sounds or the textures of clothes or food. So some of these things are the screening things that I can look for when I'm working with kids.
That's why all of those doctor's visits are so important. All right, Dr. Chris Curie, a psychiatrist with Mass General for Children. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Very important information.
Thank you, Jennifer.